I think Xavier's is a chemical substance that alters your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of substance, right?
Yes.
And you know that your mind is expanded or it's been altered.
Josy, for those of you who don't know, is one of my closest friends. Our relationship goes back to more than 40 years. And our lives have paralleled in so many ways that we were in Xavier's together. We got interested in advertising together. We did evening courses together. We spent time in advertising at Ogilvy together. We have walked together. We have trekked together. Our families have holidayed together. So it's very difficult to condense 40 years of joy into a short conversation, but we will give it our go. So Josy, welcome.
Never in my history of advertising have we ever done something like this. And the entire agency was involved and you were leading it along with my partner Neville and me. And this was what we did to Johnson & Johnson when we presented the annual campaign for BandAid. It was that special day when you go there, the whole agency is there, and it's the entire Johnson's marketing team is there. And it's this white sort of room with the table white and everybody is like in this pristine vibe. And then here we are to present a campaign for the year. And what do we present? And you started it. You began with this very straight face and you spoke about how, the entire BandAid medicated dressing, the category medicated dressing is declining. You showed figures. Yeah. And you said, therefore, this time has come to change, to reframe this category. And so here is an idea that we have to reframe the category. And what is the idea? Let's move out of medicated dressing and let's make BandAid a fashion accessory. Wow, what is this? And then Neville and I come in and we've got BandAid on our jeans, on our knee. And we do a jig saying, I come from Alabama with a BandAid on my knee. Come, join the band. And we said, this is going to be this new fashion thing. It's going to fly. Young people are going to trip on BandAid. You don't need to have a cut. Nobody ever died because of a cut. So this market's going to die. So let's get into fashion. And then we know what happened after that. There was just stunned silence. Nobody knew what to do. And it was just, this like, what's happened here?
Yeah, in fact, my memory is that the penny dropped because the jingle that Subhash had composed had a line in it which said, "Oh, Khurshida, don't you scream at me. I've come from Alabama with a BandAid on my knee."
Yes.
And so when that line was sung, the penny dropped that, oh, this was a spoof. Yes. This was not the real campaign.
Yeah.
And the whole room just dissolved in laughter because, nobody had experienced something like that before. But I think it was an era where that playfulness and mischief was okay in the advertising space, even with clients.
Yeah.
And in a way, it demonstrates the strength and the resilience of the Ogilvy relationship with
Absolutely.
Johnson & Johnson.
Absolutely.
That we could even conceive of doing it and get away with it.
Yeah.
And I think it started out from the time when we were in Xavier's together. And both of us loved getting wet in the rain, particularly the Mumbai monsoon when things are flooded and, the city has come to a standstill and, we are out there walking in the rain. So my memories are of walking in the rain with you in multiple places, especially when we used to take the train home from Xavier's at night. And if it was raining heavily, we would then definitely not take the bus and we would then walk home. And our paths would diverge at Turner Road at HSBC, where I would turn to Ambedkar Road and you would carry on to Perry Road. So that for me, that connection with nature, that connection with rain, that connection with breaking down the norms and the boundaries and just being free for that moment is a standout memory that we have done so many times together.
When I attended one of your sessions at the St. Paul's college in Bandra, when you were doing a session for people who were going through their own cancer journey. And I was just an observer. I was just sitting there watching you, and all these people had come with their own, cancer uh, points, and they had their caregivers with them, and listening to you, I saw in their eyes incredible hope, man. It was that room which was first just a classroom turned into an enlightened sort of center. I could see everybody saying, I can change, I can be like this guy. They were virtually like Jesus Christ trying to touch you. It's like a rock star thing, and it's all because you were giving some positive energy in that room. It was electric. And I mean, it was partially, I could feel my own tears to see that much hope in the room, and the things you said and the presentation you made, and just the way you connected with them. It was just incredible. And that's one of the very rare things I've seen in my life.
And Josy, you have the same gift as well, because you and I have taught together at XIC, and
Yeah.
I know the kind of impact and influence that you have on so many youngsters.
Thank
So
you.
I think that is another similarity that we share. And I want to talk a little bit about how we have, over the years, over these 40 years, have had different types of vacations and holidays.
Yeah.
And all of them have something to do with nature.
Yes.
So that is a common passion for both of us. And so from the time when we went to this village called Jawar, which is, a few hours outside of Bombay, it's really not a special place in that sense, but it just happens to be in the lap of nature among the hills in the Western Ghats. And we stayed in this very rudimentary kind of guest house, and we had this very rudimentary food, but we still enjoyed ourselves tremendously. And like that, we've had so many such holidays. We've been to Goa multiple times, and we've had great times in very simple circumstances. We've had great times in very luxurious circumstances. Then as we have grown up, we've traveled together in the UK when you guys came and visited us.
Yes.
The families have holidayed so many times together in Munnar and in Alibag, and all these fantastic places. Not to mention these wild picnics we've had at Gorai,
Yes.
again in strange circumstances. So I think that there is something special about the fact that nature matters,
Yes.
but the specific circumstances don't really matter.
Absolutely. And I remember the Nanda Devi, the Kuari Pass trek that the two
Yeah.
of us did. I mean, these are things you can never forget in your life. Two of us in one tent. We can't get out of the tent because of the pouring rain and the thunder and lightning. Both of us are wondering, what are we doing here? And yet we are doing it. It's just like a calling, right?
Yes.
And I know that I found myself, and I know that whether it's the professors, it's the priests, it's the environment, it's the students, it's just all of it that made you find things. Your blind side just came, gushing out. What your school couldn't tell you, what your parents couldn't tell you, what your friends before could not tell you. I just discovered that absolute freedom of being who I am, 100%. I think it gave us the license to be radical, I think.
Yes.
And that is where my creativity also was found.
The difference in culture that I experienced from Wilson College to Xavier's College was really chalk and cheese.
Okay.
And I found this kind of eclectic opportunities that were there in St. Xavier's, whether it was in sports, whether it was in theater, whether it was in the courses we could do, whether it was in music, the access to Rang Bhavan and all the concerts,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
For me, it really expanded my horizon.
Nice. Super.
In a way that probably most liberal arts colleges anywhere in the world, if they can do it, they should be very proud. But Xavier's was able to do it kind of effortlessly, you
That's
know.
beautiful. Yeah.
And I felt like I came to Xavier's as a nobody, but in my mind, I left Xavier's as a somebody.
Nice. Fab, man.
I don't know whether anybody else thought so or felt so, and it really didn't matter. But in my mind,
You felt it.
I felt it.
There is something I found at home, which I thought was just something that represents you, man.
Uh-huh.
Shoaib Akhtar gave me this ball of his.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and this ball is, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Oh, wow.
Shoaib Akhtar was in Bombay years ago when I was in David, and we had done some work with him. And he used his ball, and then at the end of it, I asked him to sign it. And I'd kept it, I'd forgotten about it.
Uh-huh.
But when I think about you, there's no greater man than you to represent the bouncers of life. And you have, taken balls like this in life and knocked it out of the ground, man. And for me, this is that blessing, which is that continue doing what you do because it's a huge inspiration. May your name and all that you do be recognized so that more people can benefit from, all that you do. It's truly inspirational, Vijay.